saying, there's a lot of entitlement.
Yeah.
Right? And growing up, my mother didn't have a lot. And we often lived in extraordinary circumstances, but she always made us grateful for what we had. Right?
Yeah.
And so my daughters, I let them know, okay, yes, you have clothes. You don't have to worry about the basic necessities. But you need to understand what it took you. What it took to get you these basic necessities. And so that's how I honor my in-law.
Yeah, so when this Asian hate really started ramping up and finally started getting news coverage because, the election was over, they needed something to put on there, but Rick really took it upon himself to go. But the way that you took that idea and all the accomplishments you just talked about, the organization, that a lot of that was you. A lot of that was you putting forward.
I may have lit the fire, but you got the flame going
but you
crazy.
spread that fire everywhere.
Yeah, and that's something I've always appreciated.
Yes.
So the thing I see is my mother-in-law lived to be 92. Right? She walked every day of her life. Right? Even the day we lost her, and she's been gone 4 years now. We lost her a few days before Christmas.
Oh.
But she walked she walked that day. I was home from work because I'm a school teacher. I was home from work that day, and I was working around the house, and she was yelling at me to eat lunch. Right? And she didn't speak a word of English.
Really?
So 50 years in this country, she didn't speak English, only Cantonese.
That's determination.
So, but the good side is when she, would yell at me, I only understood part of what she said.
Yeah, use the curse words.
It's good. So, but she was yelling at me to eat my lunch and sit down, and but she went out for a walk. She did all this, and then 10 o'clock that night, she had a massive, catastrophic stroke.
Oh.
If I go, that's how I want to go. I want to live right up until the moment, right? Like that's what she did.
Yeah, she really did.
And so, if I think of her walking out on the street and somebody, it just.
I'm getting mad right now just thinking about it.
It just, my brain goes to the primal.
Yeah, you go 8.
Right? I become a very different person. So.
Man.
Yeah, and that's the way I felt about that whole thing when I would see the news coverages, and I said, "Naeem, we got to do something about this." And to his credit, he said, "Whatever you need, let's go." And we did what we did.
Well, we had to calm you down first because you were really angry.
I was pissed.
You were mad.
And when I reached out to the martial world, they all just opened their doors and said yes.
Dude, you guys answered.
And then the one thing that I get a message from you, and it's like, "Hey, I'm in. What do you got?" Blah blah blah. And hey, look at this thing that I created. Look, I did help, which means
honoring elderly lives with prevention and awareness.
Yeah. And man, that thing took off.
It did.
Everybody loved that whole idea. We actually did a whole segment of that on our show.
Yeah, we did put a seminar on there too.
Yeah. And then we got to meet Leanna Louie.
Awesome.
Awesome activist.
That lady is just amazing. And like you said, we started this little thing, and next thing you know, it's blown up to where it is. And the fact that Congress and those people are acknowledging you and your work in this, that just makes me feel even that much better about what we did.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Yeah. So I mean, seriously, that's a lot of effort put forward. You had information, you had things written down, and it was amazing. It was amazing to see that progress, and I was like, damn, I didn't expect that we were going to do any of this stuff, but here we are.
Well, when we talk about self-defense, we automatically jump to the physical.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what technique are you going to show me? And when I think about self-defense, partially because of the person I am, the physical is only one manifestation of self-defense, right?
Yeah.
The things that are more like vital before you get to the physical are the, spatial awareness,
Paying attention,
situational awareness, informational awareness, all of those things that prevent you from having to deal with the physical in the first place. If you could avoid the physical, then
it's a great fight.
you won. You won. There is no loss.
Right.
And that's unfortunate because there are a lot of people out there that think the opposite. Like you said, they do the physical stuff right off the bat.
Well, I don't think they thought it through ever enough. They just do.
And that's my point. They just start going ape shit, and and like they said, he had to calm me down. But once I realized, okay, wait, we're going about this all wrong, because we were almost going to do like everybody else did, right? Do rape prevention classes, blah blah blah.
We were close to vigilante things.
Yeah,
and I was down for that, but then I realized, wait, is this right?
And I said, no, wait, we're thinking of this.
You got daughters.
Yeah, I know.
So once we realized what we really wanted to do, it became a grassroots thing, and just got everybody involved and tried to get people to see what they can do for the cause, and lo and behold, here we are. Because I was just very proud of everybody that said yes, we're there,
and took the information and spread the information, and that's really what we wanted to focus on at that point was how do we get this out there to people? How do we give people who otherwise wouldn't have a voice a louder one?
Right. And I'll tell you, I was talking to one of the directors for San Jose senior program, and she was saying that, they have clients they did a questionnaire of their clients. And from this questionnaire, they had almost 300 responses, or 300 and something responses of people who said they're afraid to leave their house.
Oh my God.
Right? Like, that's a real life consequence. It's not some gimmick somebody's using on a political platform or a news show, or this is real impact to people's lives, and that's not okay. I don't want to live in that world. I don't want my kids to live in that world. Right?
I know. No, you're absolutely right.
So let me ask you this, moving forward, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the things that have been going on, and you almost want to wish that, okay, the world is changing, but it really isn't, and I heard recently there was some, other altercations, whatever else. But the idea still then remains, how does that get fixed? And I don't know if there's a cure-all or any kind of solution.
It's hard. It's hard to be an optimist, isn't it?
Oh,
But,
Jesus Christ.
But I'll tell you the word that in my mind, the word that if there is a vaccine for hate, it's empathy, right? We need to teach our children how to use empathy, and we need to do it by demonstrating how to be empathetic.
We need to put Dennis Duarte in a superhero costume.
I don't know about that.
Dennis in tights, man.
Thank you for burning that image.
We're going to call him Empathy Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
Dennis, we love you.
I'm never going to get a ride to Sacramento again. But
I can't get that out of my head now.
I know. But truth be told, that's what it takes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we need to teach people to see each other from the other person's place, or as Atticus Finch said, to live in their skin, right? For those of you who don't know Atticus Finch, he's a lawyer from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right.
English teacher. Right? So
I love it.
I don't know what the gangster sign for English teacher is. So
has to be an E at least.
But that's what it is we have to get past hate.
Yeah.
Right? We've become okay, I don't know where this has come from.
Right.
I'm going philosophical for a second. Luckily the jet's back.
Yeah, we won't hear it.
We've become a society that's enthralled with hate. It's not about, we can't disagree anymore, right?
Yeah.
It used to be, Naeem, you're full of BS, and this is why I think so. And you could say, well, I can see what you're saying, but this is why you're completely wrong, And we could have a conversation and leave and still not hate each other, right? Now it's not, Naeem, I disagree with you. Now it's, Naeem, you gotta die. You're the enemy. You're the devil.
Because I don't agree with you.
Because you don't instantly validate everything I say.
Right.
Right? That toxic environment, if we want any hope, that's what we gotta work through.
All right. So.
All right.
He's going to write a thesis on this, folks, and we'll be publishing it at the at the high school.
So yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We, for whatever reason, probably monetary, we've created a society where if it isn't an instantaneous agreement, you're now an enemy.
Yeah.
You're now wrong. You're now you deserve hell for not agreeing with me emphatically
Right.
in what I said.
And I think it's a big, I'm not the you darn kids in your toys, but I think social media has a lot to do with
No, it does.
right?
But I honestly believe that what social media did wasn't so much create that.
No, it amplified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was always there. It
For
just
sure.
didn't have a way to.
And it's instantaneous.
And now it's
so it goes
instantaneous.
all
So
over the world,
yeah,
not
you
just
can talk
in
shit
the
to
area.
somebody in Korea right now, playing a video game.
Right.
Yeah. And that's literally what's happening now in the global market.
Yeah.
China doing what it's doing, and
Exactly.
Russia and everybody going against and say, hey,
Because the mob opinion will affect the monetary.
For sure.
So,
Absolutely.
anyways, that's a terrible
None of us
topic
are-
to end the conversation.
None of us are getting rich off of that.
So let's go back to the comedy. Show us that tattoo on your ass.
Well, I don't
Dennis?
have one on my ass, but
Is
I
it
do
one of
got a
Dennis?
couple. I do have a couple.
Is it the one of Empathy Man?
Empathy man.
Coming to square and kindness.
Yeah, we'll talk to Netflix. We'll get a movie out.
So let me ask you this, Charlie, because you have been, and I don't know how this happened, but you've been a fixture in the martial arts world, whether you know it or not. Because
Like a gargoyle fixture?
almost, right? Because a lot of people that we talk to, your name pops up, and in the beginning when I didn't know you at all.
Yeah, but it's
Your name
usually
was-
followed by that SOB right one.
Not all the time. Not all the time. A few times, yes.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's amazing how, and I think it's your. I'm attracted to this because, and I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but it's your kind-heartedness that I saw, even though you had this stern face, because I don't know if you know how to look happy or anything, but but when I first met you at Bob Gomez's place, you had that look about you, and you were teaching part of the class, and we came over there to do a demo.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I remember you, and I was a little afraid of you, or a little like, oh man, I don't know.
Like,
This
is
guy.
this guy gonna jump on me?
Right, yeah, it's weird, But then as I got to know you, and you started talking, and people started saying stuff about you, I was like, this guy's actually pretty cool. Then I was just really enthralled by the stuff that you were able to do, and don't get me wrong, I didn't have any pity about you just because you were blind or anything, but because I know ability when I see that. It's not about he's blind and he's no. I knew you actually had the goods, and I could see that right off the bat because the way you were moving people around and stuff. I'm like, no, this guy knows what he's doing, and that really impressed me. That's what I asked you earlier. How does that even bother you? But apparently it doesn't because you were able to push people around.
No. The other thing that I've kind of come to terms with about my training over the years is I'm not afraid to look foolish.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
I mean, how many martial artists that train and, if you're out there and you take offense, well, ask yourself why.
Jesus.
How many martial artists are afraid, especially when they're around other martial artists, to look foolish,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like,
That's not us though.
Like,
we do it all the time.
but I mean when you're training,
get it.
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
out on the floor, to do something you're completely uncomfortable with.
Right.
I won't name names, but a few months back, I was doing something. I asked someone to show me something, and it's something I struggle with. Right? I mean, rank to me is kind of weird. It's something everyone says this. It's not something I'm comfortable with because it's exterior.
Right.
It's something someone confers on you, and someone outside of you either acknowledges or doesn't. Right? The circumference of the belt is not as important as the area within. Right?
There you go.
Well, the circumference, if it gets a little
Well,
too
yeah, it
much,
could
then
be.
you really want to.
Yeah, my doctor will talk to you. 21 pounds.
Congratulations.
These
Oh.
idiots.
But anyway, my point is, I finally got into a place where I'm cool completely being the student, completely looking foolish to learn something, to learn how someone teaches. Sometimes, and this may sound weird, sometimes I will do something, as a beginner, not because I don't understand the concept or my body doesn't work that way, but I want to see how's this person going to teach me.
That's why I go to seminars. That's why I go to seminars.
What, is this the kind of teacher who asks questions? Is this the kind of teacher who tries to differentiate instruction? Is this the kind of teacher who teaches through ridicule and embarrassment? Because I've had all of them. Right? So I just like to learn, like, what kind of person is this going to be? You're like, how is he going to teach me?
What
How
am I
is
going
she
to take
gonna
away?
teach me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, when I'm teaching, I hope I'm not that jerk. Sometimes I am. But, you know,
Depends on the student.
I try to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
But to your point now is that, like, I'm so less caught up. In fact, Dennis and I were talking about a potential conversation coming up about this very idea. It's like, what is a martial artist? When does a martial artist stop becoming a martial artist, right? Like, if you lose your legs, are you still a martial artist? You can't do those Jean-Claude Van Damme spinning kicks with the back leg flying out. But are you still a martial artist?
I think so.
As you get older,
Yeah.
as you get older and your body takes over, are you still a martial artist? Like, could you go around with a 20-year-old with a knife who really intends you harm? I don't know. Maybe you could. You could. But, you know, the rhetorical question.
No, I get that.
Right, yeah.
No,
Maybe.
and
But-
you do have to look at that because a lot of these guys that I've seen at the higher levels,
Right.
you know, for whatever reason, you know they have the ability, but because they felt older or whatever, something happened to them, that they lost it all of a sudden.
Right.
I mean,
Or they step away.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
worst part I have, you know, I never want to, and I'm not knocking any specific person, but I never want to be that guy that sits at the side of the seminar with my thumbs in my belt.
you can watch me.
Remember the good old days? Remember when we used to train? They don't train the way we used to train,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Someone
why?
just recently
Why
said
is
that to me
it-
too.
And why is that? It's because they're afraid to get out and look
Foolish.
any less than when they did when they were 20,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, get out there. You got so much to share.
That's why
Right?
I love that with you, Charlie Shelton. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are there. You have your rank, but you're out there
And-
with
Yeah,
newbies,
Charlie
with
Shelton
junkies.
just told me yesterday. I'm still a white belt. Yeah.
I used to get yelled at by Grandmaster Casey McPartland. And
Yeah.
you guys
Yes,
know
we know
Casey.
Hilarious.
So I used to get yelled at, and by the way, him and I, he's known me since I was a kid.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
he's been with Morales for a
Yeah, he started training a little after me.
Uh-huh.
He came in after, but he was still one of my. He's like an uncle,
Right.
right? So he used to pick me up to go to black belt workouts with Gaylord and Juarez
Oh,
for
wow.
the college count
Yeah.
every Sunday, right? Like once a month on Sundays.
Is this Sunday school?
It was our Sunday school. He would swing by and pick me up, and we would drive.
Uh-huh.
But he used to tell me, where's your belt? You ashamed of your belt? Get your belt out. Because when I go to the seminars, I really don't take out my belt, right? I wear my gi pants and a shirt.
I
And
forget I have one.
And I get, right? And I don't want people to know. I just want, hi, I'm Charlie.
Right.
And the reason why is because people start getting weird.
Yeah,
Right?
they treat you different when they're like, oh, he's this. Well, he's not
that.
moving the way.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
Too funny.
so that's,
Pretense.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
So
avoided.
expectations,
Yeah.
right? And we'll talk about that later when we're, if
When
we
you're knocking them
playing
out.
around.
Oh, actually, we should
It's-
probably set up for that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah. We're about
Expectations,
there.
people's
Where we at on time?
expectations.
Over an hour?
Sorry.
He talks a lot. First thing he told us, I don't have anything to say.
It's always the ones that have nothing to say the most.
Oh, you don't want me on your show. I don't have nothing to say. I'll just be a fanboy.
Yeah.
Again, it's nerves. Like
Yeah.
when I get super nervous, even teaching today
Yeah.
in classes,
Yeah.
and not martial arts, but actually teaching,
Yeah.
I literally get stomach aches before
Really?
I go.
Hey,
to students.
you
It's
mentioned
crazy.
something that we need to bring up for everybody. You're opening up a school. Let's talk
Yes.
about that. Is it going to be here or?
So yeah, right now.
Next to that tree?
So what happened in my wisdom, lifelong wisdom, is for years it's always been my dream. to have
Oh,
a
okay.
school, right?
Nice.
Like,
Yeah.
But like that's the natural progression of what I want to do. And Senior Grandmaster Pete, before we lost him, said, take it, go, do it. Don't let what you got from me stop, right? So, like many others, that's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, long story short, I hem-hawed around, look for locations, and because of all my other things that I'm doing, being a dad and a teacher and working and kids, and you know, I just never stopped training, but kind of kept pushing that goal down the road.
Right.
Well, circumstances opened up where I had a place to sublease.
Oh.
And in San Jose, and it was really nice. Already matted out.
Wow.
A little area from a facility through my daughter's softball that I was talking to about doing this. And I finally told my wife, you know what, before I do anything, I'm gonna at least set up the business. So went out, got the LLC, got the insurance, got the, resale certificate, tax ID, all of the legal stuff taken care
the
of,
boring
right?
stuff.
And then launched the business February 20th of 2020.
And we all know the story from there. Holy shit. That sucks.
Sorry,
That's so wrong, but
please laugh at my pain. It's a $10,000 laugh.
Yeah,
no,
sure
I'm
is.
kidding.
Oh my god,
my
that
side hurts.
sucks.
My
You
side
know how many
hurts.
people have- Yeah, you're not the only
No,
one.
no,
buddy.
I do it all the
I
time.
can't.
So,
I got a
so
cramp.
needless to say, the facility went to
God.
the wind.
Yeah.
Right.
Potential students
Damn.
went to
God.
the wind.
Oh.
So what
That is
what am I
heartbreaking.
left with? I'm left with the business, which still exists as
On
an
paper,
entity,
yeah.
as an entity, and my desire and knowledge, in martial arts.
You
and
can
my
take that
desire
all
to
as a
train.
loss and get some good tax back.
Yeah, I could, but then it would be gone, right?
Yeah.
And I told my wife, who, by the way, has been very supportive in this whole thing, because she could have said,
And she's still
No.
laughing, by the way.
right? Yeah, she does. That's what wives do, right? They only give you enough rope
You
so
don't.
you can hang yourself and they can laugh while you do it, right?
Did she do the "I told you so" thing?
No,
Oh, good.
but she tells me still,
Do it again. Keep going. Yeah.
keep going, do it
Yes.
again, don't give up, and so I'm now back. Thanks, I get my booster tomorrow.
Nice.
Good.
So this thing, as far in my mind, we're done tomorrow.
Good.
And then I can start working back towards that goal, subleasing a place maybe locally. I still, train private here, but I want to, go beyond that. In the school, Mind, Body, and Spirit, Kaji Kempo, our philosophy is strengthen your mind, develop your body, nourish your soul, right?
Wow.
So
I like that.
I don't want to teach, like I said, just the physical aspect of martial arts, nor do I think I'm the old man on the mountain, right? I mean, come on, I'm
Yeah,
going to teach you how to eat your dumplings and,
With chopsticks. no less.
I eat them with my hand.
Watch out
no.
for fish heads.
But the way I've always wanted to run a school is a community of for lack of a better word, a fellowship where
Ooh.
people can share being together,
Right.
hanging out, right? And I don't want to pretend to be more than I am. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life or that you have to think the way I do. I just want you thinking, right? I love when a student
Step one.
I love when a student disagrees with
Right.
me, right? In the right context, right? Not
Right.
just
That's
to-
just like, hey, that's bullshit.
right. No, but if a
he
student asks
does
me,
it all the
why
time.
do I have to do that?
Right.
Why do we do it that way? I love that. I don't think that's going to work for me. Okay, why not? Right? Like that whole conversation, that's where the kid in me comes out, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, let me show you why.
let's do it. Maybe it won't work.
Let's figure out a different way to do it.
So anyway, I want to be able to foster a safe environment for learning.
I like that.
The other thing I want to do is, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
So, academic instruction. I'm offering academic instruction in math, English, and social studies. Up in math, English, and social studies to high school, English, and composition through college. So,
Wow.
I was I got kicked out of high school myself. So,
I can see that.
so
I can totally see that.
they were like, thanks, but we've had
Oh, wait.
we've had our fill.
Yeah.
So I went through continuation high school and flunked out my first year of community college, my first semester
Uh-huh.
at Ohlone in Fremont, and it took me a while to learn. Right, like
Yeah.
literally my first English class